Welcome back to this Board Game Officer. Today we are doing a unboxing of Dungeons of Doria. So, just as a full caveat, this was sent to me for a review. However, no other money compensation was made. So, we are going to go ahead and open this up here. Now, I'm going to caveat this with, I've watched a lot of the reviews and playthroughs and stuff. However, I'm not all knowledgeable on this game. I just want to caveat that up front here. But let's go ahead and open this baby up. The one thing that drew me to this game is how D&D, excuse me, how D&D-esque it is. I really like all the things that they try to do. I've heard there's been a lot of questions of how good they do it, but I really like the aspect of D&D that they do. So I'm excited to try this out. We've got a lot of punch board things here. A lot of the tokens, fire, tornado, ice, blocking paths, all that fun stuff. We've got the miniatures here. Well, not miniatures, standees of the enemies here. That looks pretty darn cool. Like gargoyle, the dragon, the orc, the shaman. That's another thing is, right, it's D&D-esque, so it's all like your normal type of enemies. Nothing super special here. Slime crawler, goblin, goblin archer, ghoul, zombie, shaman, mummy, mercenary. You got another gargoyle and a different flavor southern token there with, you know, more tokens there. And we've got a couple of the heroes there as well. The warrior, mage, ranger, priestess, ooh, a vampire, zombie, goblin, dark mage, archer, big old fat spear thrower, goblin type person, a golem, a troll, an ogre, all that fun stuff. All right, then we get into everything else. We got a lot of books here, holy cow. But, so, we've got the rule book, which is going to be a solid 47 pages, which actually isn't too bad for how much there is. But, if you look here, it is very word heavy, right? It's not picture heavy. You got a little bit with exploration there. But, lots of reading here. Lots going on. But, we got, so that's the rule book there. Now we've got single scenarios. Right, these are going to be your one-offs here. Tells you how many players can play. Just a quick little scenario and rules there. Quick start guide. Now, I am always like, what I like to do is I like to test out these quick start guides. Like, okay, what does it say that I could do? And let's actually test it. Like if it says that I don't have to read the rule book, I could do this first. Right? I don't know what it says, but that's kind of my idea with this, to see how good these quick start guides are. If they're really quick start guide or if they're really just like a quick reference guide. And then all of these are going to be your individual campaigns, if I remember right. You got the Grim Reaper, and this is going to have multiple scenarios. Yeah, scenario 1, scenario 2C, right? And they're going to have branching paths. I don't know how many scenarios you'll play on each one, but you've got multiple different campaigns that you could go through, basically, which I actually really do like that there's different campaigns. It's not just one big campaign that you're going through. Oh, that's interesting. Well, we'll get there. So this is actually another super interesting thing. So this is basically your initiative points, meaning the highest up is going to go first, wherever your token is. But each action costs initiative points or action points. So if I'm at, if I'm at 20 and to attack costs 12 initiative points, I'm going to go from 12 to 8 when I activate. And then when it becomes my turn again at 8, I get to go again, but I only have 8 points to use. And a little quick reference there. I think both of these sides are the same. They're looking the same right off the bat. But, yep, so we've got that initiative board here. Now, I've never seen cards not packed in like shrink wrap. And all the bag is all over the place. You saw me, I unzipped it. Or did I? Maybe I'm going to watch some other unboxing. Is that normal for you? No. Comment down below if this is normal for Dungeons of Doria. Or if this is just a one-off kind of fluke here. Because I don't know what is what here now. I will have to go through and organize all these. But, like, yeah, these are all different types of cards that are just thrown in here. That is really, really weird. However, it does look like they give you place for standees, give you place for all these cards right there, which that is super nice. That they do give you some sort of organization at least. We've got, now everything in here is going to be D10s. That's the only thing you ever roll is D10s. So on these things, it's going to have, let's see if we can't find a weapon here. Here we go. So here you have a primordial axe. Now, so that is, if I remember right, that is going to be how much it costs how many action points it costs to attack. And then it says 2D plus 3. Now everything is D10s. So when it says 2D, it means a 10 because that's the only dice you'll roll in this game. But let's see what other cards here we got. The Thanatos Cowl, little Green Ripper, little cloak there. Give you little bonuses there. Now there is over 500 pieces of loot in this game, which is another thing that I've really like about this game is I love loot. Loot is one of my favorite things in these games. So when you got a pile of 500 loot, I'm all about that. Let's check out all these D10s. So all the colors don't really mean too much. It's basically you can have, each character can have, like you have the purple dice, you have the yellow dice, you have the orange dice, right? And each character will have two. Other than the black and white, maybe there's for something specific, but more or less they are dice, right? They're D10s. Nothing too special there. Now we've got our standees. We've got a couple colored bases. I'm wondering if that's for the heroes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, that's 6 of them, so that's probably for the heroes. Probably going to match up to the colored dice that you want to use. Once again, which is just probably not something that you have to do, but it is something that you can match up, right? One of those things. Now we'll take this thing out. Oh my goodness. Oh, I see. So they're not wrapped. They're just in these things. All right, note to all companies. If you're going to use these things, you need them on both sides, not just one. Because cards are everywhere. Anyways, yeah, as you can see, this is another pile of loot. And yeah, because you can see this is coming out from there. And even more loot. And holy cow. Yeah, this is going to take a while to organize. That's kind of annoying. Yeah, either do the shrink wrap, or if you're going to do the paper thing, you need to go both ways. Let me know if this is a common problem here. This is quite surprising. All right, there we go. These are going to be some of your enemies. Cards here. I don't know exactly what these are. These Snoka's Initiative. I don't know what these are for, actually. Like I said, I'm not thoroughly versed in this game. I have watched reviews and playthroughs of it and stuff, but I don't know all the details, that's for sure. So there we got more loot and enemy cards. Here's more enemy cards here. Holy cow. This is very card heavy. Okay, so it looks like we've got loot colors here. We've got blue, we've got green. What were these ones? I'm sure these were some other different color. I don't know, these first ones were blue that were up top. So we do have different color loot, which I'm sure is like level of loot, I would guess. All right, level 1 loot, level 2 loot, something like that. And these are going to be all of the enemy cards. Whew, that is a lot of enemy cards. But, which is interesting, they don't have anything on them except for the picture. I'll have to look in to see why that is, but the art in this is actually pretty cool. I do enjoy the art here. Skeleton, the poltergeist. Ooh, oh, this is the weapons for them as well. Oh, that's what this is. Okay, that's right, that's right. So you're gonna basically, this is like what you spawn. So this is gonna be your deck, and you pull this, and for like, so if in this case, if I drew that, I'll put it off to the side, and I draw until, I'm sure it's not shuffled, but I draw until I get, wow, until I get, holy cow, all these top ones, until I get a monster. Now, all of these that I drew before I got to the monster are actually attached to him. So basically, this gargoyle is now that much stronger, and he gets these special abilities while he's out on the board. And that's what these are. Okay, that makes more sense. And once again, we have more loot with these horrible paper things that obviously are doing nothing. And we got more green. So we've got green and blue loot, at least so far. Here are our character boards here. Oh my goodness, look at that. That is just killing me. Okay. So once again, all these boards are exactly the same, just the picture of your character is going to be different. Oh, that's cool. It's got all of the pictures on the back here, and then kind of another picture behind all of these things. But this is where you're going to put all of these cards here for each of your heroes. And one thing that is kind of cool here that they do with this loot is taking damage. Is if you have any type of armor, you can choose to use that armor to block that damage, but it's going to damage that armor, therefore rendering it unusable, or then you have to like fix it to use it again. The benefits of it, don't really know the details, but that is kind of a cool thematic, like, hey, yeah, if I block this big old mace bludgeoning weapon coming at me with my chest, yeah, my chest plate's probably going to be a little bent, right? And so you have to take time, you have to pay to kind of fix it here. So here, this top list, I'm guessing, is going to indicate where you could put. So like that's got the feet. That means it's going to go on the feet symbol there. At least that's what I would guess, but we'll go. I do appreciate that they have this here and that this goes all the way deep. I've had games where it just has a little loop thing here. And so and it was this deep. So it's nice that it's actually got that clearance so you could actually get to the bottom of there. Now here we have our dungeon tiles. These are going to be just a little thicker paper here, but we've got a lot of different things here. As you can see, they are labeled. I'm not sure why it stops at A8 and then goes on to B8. That's interesting. I wonder if that has like certain one of the snares are like, hey, we use the 8 tiles in this one or something. But basically, when you come in, it's going to show you to summon different monsters. You can loot those chests. I'm pretty sure you could actually interact with, is that this game? Now I'm getting confused. If you could interact like with that table, I'm not exactly sure. But, all right, so each thing is, when you come into it, you're going to open it up, reveal this layer, and you're going to spawn anything that it tells you to spawn. Well, that's kind of cool. Nice little dungeon layer there. That's cool. All right, so we've got the map tiles, and then we've got, this is going to be, these are just all of your hero stats here. So you're going to have, right, your strength, constitution, agility, perception, wisdom, and psych. And your strength and constitution, you're going to take the average of the two, and that's going to be your health. You're going to take the average between your agility and perception, and that's going to be your speed. And your wisdom and psych, and that's going to be your psych points. I don't know what they call that. But that is kind of how those work there. This is your health points, I'm guessing. I don't remember exactly how that works. Here's like your benefits if you want to mark them down just so you have easy access. And I guess that these are just like abilities that everyone has. You could always dodge. And side resistance are to spell. So this is to a physical attack. This is to spell attacks, defense, basically. On the back side here, we've got the same thing here. I actually don't know about this backside, what that is. I'm guessing, because everything else is kind of the same. So if this is like a more, what do you want to call it? Basically like a more, you could do your own thing kind of thing. Where you could build however you want it. But I'm not sure. So we got that for that. Then we got a campaign card to say what scenario you're on. Any notes, any XP, monster points, so you could total up on any of your campaigns. As you can see, you do have to write the name because there are different campaigns you could actually do. And then on the back here, you just have like a big thing for loot cards taken into the next scenario and other notes. This is one thing that I think I might have a hard time with, but I'm going to try it out first. It's because I love loot so much, but in this game you can only take like 1 or 2 loot cards from one scenario to a next. So in one scenario you might find 15, 20 different loot cards, but you can only take 1, maybe 2 onto the next one, which that is going to be a little bit hard just because I love loot and I don't want to give it up. But we'll try it out. We'll see how I really feel about it going through. And then here we have the enemy cards here. These ones stayed in place, but it's because they were underneath other stuff. So these are going to be your enemy cards. So these are your like deck, who do you spawn. These are going to be your actual monsters and what they have. So you can see he's got 1 health. It does 2 damage. I'm guessing that's what that is. I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to see. He's got 1 defense. What I do know is the attacking is very, very different in this game. It's not, that's one thing, it's not like D&D. It's not roll and hit, roll, see how much you do damage. It's like roll, and if you hit, you do 1 damage. But if you do 10 more than them, because they roll their defense, so your attack roll has to be higher than their defense, and you do however much damage, which usually it's like 1 damage. But if they have an armor of 1, that means technically you have to do 2 damage to actually hit them. The way to do 2 damage is you have critical hits, which are going to be 10 above. So if you roll 2d plus 4 for defense, and they roll 2d4 and they get an 8, and you roll your attack and you get 18, that means you will get +1 damage to it. If he rolls an 8 and you roll a 28, you will get +2 damage. And so that is way to add. There is another, like, oh, that's right. If you roll a 10 on the dice, that basically bursts and you get to roll again. So there's 2 types of crits almost. You got the natural 10, which is burst, meaning you roll again. And then you got the factor of 10 to +1 damage. And then there is 2 ways to fail. If you roll 2 1s on your dice, or a single 1 if you're rolling a 1, or if you are -10, like so a critical fail, something negative happens. I don't remember exactly what, but so it's really different. And then so that's just like, okay, damage, but then you have to look at all of their abilities, look at all your abilities. That attacking, especially first off, can be a little daunting just because it's a lot. That's cool. The Black Knight. It can be a lot. It does kind of, once you get into it, it's fine, but at least of what I've heard. But first off, it's kind of a lot you have to get past. But so these are going to be, this mummy actually looks cool. Where'd that mummy go? Yeah, look at this mummy. It's kind of cool. It's got like the dog face, Egyptian dog face kind of. Actually almost looks like a cat or a fox. I don't know. Looks cool though. So there's some of them. And then you've got, I don't know if these are levels or just a separate, another. Oh, yep. Yeah, you got levels here for. Yeah, and these ones were 1. So you probably got 1, 2, and 3 in this pile. Then 4. Ooh. I don't know what that is. That's cool. Character item. Combat hammer, tri-ion hammer. Is this maybe like normal stats here for the heroes? I'm not sure. Maybe these are like normal starting stats for each one. But yeah, that's like, so if you play the Huntress, these are your starting stats. But I think they also have a way that you could just kind of, you know, like D&D, you could either roll for it or you could just buy points kind of thing. So you could start there. Oh, and these are the character items that you start with. Hunting bow. Yep. Okay, that makes sense. And then also, like I said, like these points I think you can change up if you want. Also, these character items you could change up. There's not really like, hey, the priestess cannot hold a large axe. However, they have some, like, you have to have a certain amount of strength or constitution or perception or agility to hold the items. So it's not necessarily class broken up, but if you want your priestess but add extra strength so they can hold the axe, right? So technically you can, but they are kind of separated in that aspect. And then we have all of our reference cards there. Ooh. Then we got, these are probably the bosses. Look at that, 5 plus 3 XP. Wow. So if you're playing 2, that's 6, that's an 11 health. That with 3, so you just to do 1 health. Wow. The Ice Dragon, the Poison Dragon, the Darkest Knight, that's cool. The Mother Zombie, a Demon, Dark Inquisitor, the Worm, Red Mouth, the Librarian, the Red War Troll, the Countess. I know, these are just really cool. Cool Prime. Oh, that's cool. And then blank ones if you want to make your own, I guess. That's cool. And then some boss helping card. What is that? Player aids. Some boss player aids there. All right. And one thing I always like to do is I do like to look underneath. Because one time I was playing this game for Chronicles of Drunagor. Not playing this game. I was doing an unboxing in Chronicles of Drunagor. I actually took this out and there was a little darkness tile underneath. That just probably got loose and fell. But so now I always look. But so there we have Dungeons of Doria. I'm going to see if I can't fit everything back in here, and hopefully that I can make sure it doesn't get all the way that it was when it got shipped here. I do appreciate it gets baggage for all those cardboard punch outs and everything. It looks like everything does fit in here pretty well. Thank you for joining me with this, and I will see you later.